So what is our first topic?
Our first topic is that everyone's asking us to do English content.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I hope I don't get slated for my accent because apparently it's never good enough.
Well, if your accent got slated, I think my accent will got slated even more.
We're always going to get slated, one way or the other. This is the nature of speaking English.
Yeah.
So yeah, exactly. We have, got a lot of feedback from audience
Yeah.
in terms of specific topic regarding working situations, in terms of learning that we have in the working situations. Then we thought maybe we can talk about what sort of difficulties we have encountered when we first enter the workforce.
Oh, too many. Way too many. But since you're the one who started this, why don't you?
Be very glad to. When I first entered my first job in consulting, despite the fact that, I had some internship experience before, I still, to be frank, had no clue of what I'm doing, right? What I was doing.
What were you doing?
I was joining as a business analyst at McKinsey. What we do in general, typical strategy projects.
What could you tell us a little bit more about what's typically involved as a business analyst?
So my area is more specific to oil and gas.
Okay.
However, like for a generalist business analyst at McKinsey, they usually start a specific project with a project team, solving a specific problem. You can be different types of projects. It can be a strategy project. It could be an operational project. It also can be other IT transformation projects, you name it. As a entry-level person, what required from you was doing a lot of analytical work. It could be quantitative and also qualitative analysis. And the end result, the deliverable, is always about, usually about either a Excel model, translated into a presentation deck.
Okay.
So when I first joined, I was very shy about asking questions, despite the fact I'm not shy at all. So it can be a bit of conflicted or contradictory why I was behaving like that. My manager asked me to do a presentation deck, some part of the presentation deck. Then she gave me certain requirements. But then I had some things I need to clarify with her in terms of more specific requirements, timeline, format, things to watch out for. Instead of asking her in the beginning, I decided to just dive in and do the analytical work. And then would realize after a few hours, she came to check on me and see what I was doing. And then after she realized what I was doing is like going around the circle and trying to find the numbers to plug into the deck, she gave me the feedback on the spot and said, Jennifer, if you do not understand certain requirements, you should have asked in the beginning. And now we only have 3 hours to finish this deck. So that was a big moment, almost of humiliation, if you can say it. Now I think back, I realized the reason why I didn't ask for clarification question was because, first of all, I was afraid. I was afraid to show that I have something that I don't understand. I was afraid because I have this expectation of myself to get on the work smoothly, knowing exactly what I was asking for. If I was not clear, that's probably not their problem. Is my problem. So I need to figure it out as an independent thinker. So it's a bit of ironic. It's not the definition of being independent thinker saying you cannot ask questions. But somehow it's instilled in my mind. I should be that way.
Yeah, in hindsight, I think if we look back, it's like you literally had no idea what you're supposed to be doing.
Correct.
Yet head in first and got started with the project, really not knowing what is expected of you, what is being asked of you. And subsequently, you kind of look back and thought, 3 hours later, your manager came to you and said, Jennifer, how are you getting on? You're like, I have no idea.
Exactly, exactly. Obviously, I think that's something that we need to watch out for in the beginning because one, I think, is an ego thing. Second thing is something you really expect of yourself to do. So now I'm become the position that I'm asking something from others. Then I realize I need to give them more context.
Yeah.
But sometimes when I'm under a time constraint, I totally forgot that, right? I assumed, the big words assumption. I assumed they understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I assume they have the big picture.
It's very similar to, I think, not just in workplace, but also I think for a later topic, which is in relationships, that you expect people to read your mind.
Correct.
And subsequently, when they don't deliver, it's like, how did you not know about what I was asking?
Exactly.
And I think it's the same case when you're a junior member of a company, of a team, is that I should know this. I should be able to know, understand whatever that's being asked of me from my bosses, because that is apparently how it's supposed to be.
So yeah, exactly. That's what I realized. So when people ask you for something, sometimes they also were not mindful enough to what level you were, what kind of context you have briefed. The mistake I made, except for ego, except for high expectation, or don't want to look dumb, is I assumed other people know what they're doing. A lot of times we all make mistakes. So as a junior, I always look up on the people I work with because they know so much, they learn so much across the years, which I was just a rookie, right? I was so green at that time. So I guess this is the biggest learning for me from hindsight is actually empathy. Feeling empathetic towards myself, self-compassion, understand it's okay not to understand everything. And it's also feeling empathy towards other people is when I ask other people for help, for requirements, is also to be mindful of where they are. So in a way that asking for help as a mentality, asking question as a mentality is helpful in all kinds of situations at work.
I think you're absolutely right. I think it really goes both ways. When you don't understand something, you've got to appreciate that you don't understand something, you've got to ask questions. But also on the giving end, when you're asking someone to do something, you've got to supply the right amount of information for them to be able to get started, making sure that they fully understand what's expected of them.